attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, everybody, welcome to today's webinar. How's everybody doing on this beautiful day today? It's Jeff Mills here. I'm actually outside from a non-disclosed location in Hawaii. Sorry to be in Hawaii doing work, but someone's got to suffer out here, I guess. But that's a joke. Everyone's supposed to laugh and stuff like that. So anyway, I'm really enjoying Hawaii, and I'm also enjoying the fact that I can be in Hawaii, I can work in Hawaii, and be with my friends on this webinar, and have a great guest presenter here with you guys, John Limbacher. Now, you're going to learn about the one thing that every business owner wants, and who can tell me in the chat box right now what that one thing every business owner wants is? You guys throw it in the chat box what you think that one thing every business needs and wants. All right, we're seeing sales. Absolutely, they want sales. They want leads. They want leads. Absolutely, they want leads. A lot of people are saying traffic. Yep, they want traffic. Some are saying more customers. So all those things are correct. Customers, leads, sales, and traffic. And not only for local businesses that exist out there doing services like chiropractic, attorneys, dentists, cosmetic dentists, but even you guys that are here on this webinar, many of you fit those categories yourself, and you want to know how can I do what John's going to be talking about today to get me leads and traffic and sales and exposure for my business too, because you're going to see how you can apply the things that we're going to do in the webinar today, not only for the local businesses where you can sell to them a service, but also use the service for yourself. And you're going to see a demonstration of it. You're going to get a software demonstration today. So that's what you're going to see on this presentation. So thanks for giving us your time. Please give us at least 60 minutes of your time today, you guys. Of course, at the very end, John will make an amazing offer for you guys that I know is like incredible. And I encourage every single one of you guys, if you can take that offer, go for it. You're not going to get let down. You're not going to have a bad experience. He's one of the good guys that's been in the industry for many years. Now, here's a fun fact for John. John lives in the same city I grew up in, Huntington Beach, California. He actually lives literally across the major street from the housing tract that I grew up in, off of Brooker Street in Huntington Beach, California. He's right over there, and the other housing tract across from my parents' house is. So that's pretty cool. And what John's been doing for many years has been helping local businesses get leads, get traffic, get sales, and he's been really focused on what I would call the old school, but still the good school marketing techniques. This is like helping businesses with their SEO, search engine optimization. Sorry, there's some cars running here in the background. There's an auto show going on right behind me. Search engine optimization, search engine marketing, search engine ranking. Getting their videos listed high on YouTube, getting their websites and blogs listed high, and it's really hard to do that kind of stuff nowadays. It's really hard, and because you got to have like this Jedi system that most people can't afford. So John, being the expert that he is, he's figured out some shortcuts and some ways to kind of get through the hassles of all the qualifications that Google gets you, that Yahoo gets you, that Microsoft gets you to get ranked really high, and he kind of bypasses those things legally, ethically, honestly, and gives you guys a system you've never seen before. So John, I'm going to throw it over to you to kind of kick this thing off, start sharing your system with people and explain to them how it works. And the webinar is yours, my friend.
All right, cool. Hey, thank you very much, Jeff. That was an awesome intro. And like Jeff said, I've got some amazing stuff to share with you guys here today. I've been providing services to businesses for well over 20 years now. And one of the things that I really found, life-changing was the recurring revenue that you can make providing business services. So before I started doing that, I was doing things the old way. And you guys might be familiar with this, the single sale business where, you make a sale, you provide a service, you're on this churning rat wheel, and when it's over, the money stops. And that's just a horrible feeling. So it was really cool when I got into the internet and I started providing services to businesses that were recurring. And it allowed me to make a new for sale sign here and sell my old hamster wheel. So that's what I'm going to provide to you guys today, is a way to actually do that. It's really, really cool. And I know Jeff had kind of put me up there for SEO, and that's really my specialty. But what I'm going to share with you guys today, you don't need to do SEO. You'll be able to provide results and benefits for your customers without all that hassle. So this is going to be really cool. And one of the things that it really is going to provide is it's going to provide security for you, because this is one of the things that really set me free. When I started providing recurring revenue services, I didn't have to worry anymore about making ends meet. You know, it wasn't like as soon as a job's over, I'm hunting for another one and, you know, where's the next paycheck going to come from? So this is going to solve that problem. If you guys are in need of a recurring revenue system, this thing is just absolutely phenomenal. So one of the best services that I've found that you can offer is these necessity services. It's almost like a utility. You know, when companies are paying for a utility, they just don't turn it off. And that's literally what this is. You know, Jeff had put out there that, you know, when business owners see this, they're going to be lining up to pay you for it, and they really will be. It literally is like a utility. And, you know, when I first started in the internet, I was providing web development services, and I was offering the hosting on the back end of it. And that was like the first utility service I ever got a hold of. And after I stacked up enough of those recurring customers, it was like my life literally changed. One day I told my wife, I'm like, you know, we don't have to work anymore. Money's just going to keep coming in, whether we're here, whether we're off vacationing, we're on a cruise ship, whatever. Money is just going to keep coming in. We're going to make as much as if we're sitting here working as if we are cruising around the world. So that is like the best services possible. And again, that's what I'm going to share with you guys today. So let's talk about opportunities, best opportunities. You know, utilities is the best service, but opportunity is where there's pain and suffering. And there's a lot of pain and suffering on the internet these days. And, you know, what I like to do is I like to solve problems. And I absolutely love problems. Problems bring money. And the bigger the problem, the more money. So I say the bigger, the better. And what we're going to focus on, the problem we're going to focus on today is the lifeblood of any business. And Jeff alluded to that earlier. You know, he threw out there, what's the most important thing to a business? And you guys hit it right on the head, because this is what a business absolutely must have to survive. If you lose this, you lose it all. Your house comes crumbling down. And it's sales. It's basically sales from leads, and the leads come from traffic. So that really truly is the lifeblood of any business. So when you're offering a service to a business owner and it revolves around sales, leads, traffic, all of that stuff, they are very hungry for it. This is the kind of stuff they'll actually get in line for. So the problem with this stuff is, the problem with traffic mainly is it's drying up. You know, I don't know what kind of traffic you guys are driving if you're doing SEO or, you know, if you're doing pay-per-click or Facebook, but the costs are going up. You know, I know a lot of guys in the SEO field, and SEO literally is failing. If you're doing old school SEO, you're probably taking a hit. You know, it's not what it used to be. It used to be cheap and it used to be easy, and now it's not. You know, a lot of people are failing. A lot of business owners, tons and tons of business owners are still spending money on SEO, and there's a really good reason for that. They're spending money on pay-per-click, and it's getting expensive because of the competition. You know, when SEO fails, everybody goes to pay-per-click, and that fails, everybody's going to Facebook. It's like the next thing, but competition drives those prices up. So here's the reason that people will still spend money on SEO even though it's failing, because they know SEO is the best traffic around. It's literally the best traffic on the planet, because of the simple thing, it's in the right place at the right time. If you're offering a service or a product or a service And when your customers look for you, that's being in the right place at the right time. So if they want what you have and they go to the search engine and you show up there, that's like a match made in heaven. That's why SEO is literally the best traffic on the planet. It's in buying mode traffic. All the other traffic, well, pay-per-click also, I mean, that's search engine traffic as well. You're just paying for it as you get it. Problem there is it's just expensive. But it literally is when people are searching for what you offer because they need it right now. And if you don't show up there, what does that cost you? That is really, really expensive to not show up because you're literally taking your ideal customers and you're handing them off to somebody else. They're there, they're ready to buy, and you're not playing the game. So that's why SEO literally is the best traffic around, and that's why people will continue to pay for it. There's a massive problem with it though, and it's like, you know, SEO, it's considered dead. You know, a lot of people have just put the tag on the toe and called it dead in the morgue. And, you know, anybody that knows anything about it, they know that's not true, but it seems so. It's like if you've been in the SEO business, the last couple of years has probably just beat the fire out of you. And a lot of people gave up. They just moved on. They went to other forms of traffic. But let me tell you, it is not dead. It's just got a missing link. It's like in evolution here, we got to this point where the bottom dropped out and nobody knew how to bridge the gap. You know, everybody knew about content, everybody knew about linking, everybody knew about social signals, but what was that missing link? You know, what was it that was causing SEO to fail? Nobody could figure it out. You know, a lot of people tried. A lot of this stuff actually works for a while, but then it stops. So how do you get across that gap? So let me tell you, Google is really, really smart. And what they did, they created a new weapon in the war against SEO. And that is really the missing gap. That is what's there. That's the missing link. And nobody could really identify what it was. But I call it a lie detector. You know, it's what it really is, it's Google's artificial intelligence. And it's very much like a lie detector. They call it RankBrain. If you've heard any of that, there's a lot of media around it. Nobody seems to know what the heck it means, though. But that's their new algorithm, and that is what's really winning the war on search. But like I said before, this is really what it is. It's a lie detector. I also refer to it as a bullshit meter. And people kind of laugh at that and they don't really know what that means, but it really is. It's just detecting whether your SEO is real or not. So think about this. Google, the reason Google is against SEO is they don't want people to manipulate their results. They want to make sure that their results are the best positive user experience. That's what they're trying to provide. So if you're not in alignment with that, then they don't want you. And that's what the big war is all about. They want good quality information. What they've realized is if they don't provide a good service, then their advertisers go away. That's where they make their money. So they're willing to spend every effort to protect that. So if you want to win this war, what you've got to do is you've got to forget about what you thought you knew about SEO. And we're in a whole new world now. So the future of SEO is user experience. Now, if you can provide user experience, you can bring SEO back to life. Now, I want you guys to stop for a minute because a lot of people freak out when they think I'm offering them an SEO service. I'm not saying that you guys need to go into the SEO business. In fact, I wouldn't even recommend it unless you've got some really specialized knowledge like what my team has. But what you can do is you can go in the business of fixing SEO. What you want to do is you want to cash in on the problem. The problem is their SEO's not working. So they're paying a lot of money for SEO and not getting any return out of it because they're not getting the ranking. So if you can go in and you can add an extra little service on top that will fix the problem, there's a pile of money attached to that. People will pay a lot of money to fix that problem. So some of you guys are probably up on this, and you probably are, have been watching and know what's going on. But let me just kind of walk you through it. Search metrics, these guys measure all the SEO values of what makes a difference. And here not too long ago, within the last couple of years, this has moved to user signals. That top one there, let me just zoom in on that. That's click rate, click-through ratio. Google knows that a site in the #1 position should get about a 32% click-through ratio. They also know that a site in the #10 spot should get about 3% click-through ratio. So here's what happens. If you don't get that click-through ratio, let's say you do all your SEO efforts and you get your site to the top and you're not in that range right there, then the bullshit meter goes off. Google's RankBrain goes to work. It detects that you've manipulated the results and it drops you off the first page. That's why people are failing. That's why they're dropping. They do everything they know how to do and they still can't bring their rankings back up. And this is why RankBrain is watching. RankBrain is keeping score. RankBrain wants to know that relevancy is high and the content is good. So backlinks, you need backlinks to get the search engine to pay attention to you, but you need to provide good user signals so Google verifies that the site is quality. Quality is key. If you don't have a quality site, Google does not want you in their rankings. It's really just that simple. So here, some of you guys are like, you really want to get into the mechanics of this. And for anybody that wants to understand exactly what's going on, this is the patent. You can Google this patent. It's 8682.892B1. That is Google's patent that actually shows how this bullshit meter works. What it's looking for navigational search. It sees that, that you got all your links and all of that stuff, the traditional SEO stuff. But then this is what happens with RankBrain when RankBrain goes to work to verify it, to see if it's real. It looks to see if there's any navigational searches, informational searches, transactional searches, and then it balances them. It looks at that balance between links versus searches. So that may or may not make a lot of sense to you guys, and it goes even deeper than that. It goes into the next phase of this, which is actually tracking what happens after that. But let's just take this first step, and I'll show you some proof of this. This is Rand Fishkin. He's from SEO Moz, and he did a little test on this. He reached out to Twitter, or to tweet his audience here with a little test, and it was pretty cool what he found out. He was right on the money with this guesstimation. And what he did, he took a site that was currently in #7, the Moz.com site, for IMEC Lab. And he tweeted out to all of his users to go ahead and search for this, to put in IMEC Lab into a search bar and to tell him where that site showed up and click on it. And it was currently in the #7. So when he did this, notice the time. It's 6:03 p.m. Here's all the tweets coming back. First guy up there says it's in the #7th, #7th, and then you got a #4, and then back to #7, 7, 5, and then you got #1, then you got #1, and look at what happened 3 hours later at 9:01 p.m. Just 3 hours, it moved that site to #1 just by people searching for it and clicking on it. So that was proof right there that this type of activity would move the needle for SEO. So that's pretty cool stuff. And that really is an inside look at RankBrain at work. So Obviously, there's a lot of other factors at play here. It's not just the search itself and the click. There's a lot more going on. I'll kind of give you the rundown of what's happening there in that RankBrain mechanism. There's prior to the visit, and then there's during and after the visit. So prior to the visit is looking for relevancy in the search terms. It's looking for, is the term that's being searched actually relevant? Next, it's looking for click-through ratio. Is it in that range that's expected to be? And then brand awareness. Are there any brand searches being done for your site? Direct traffic. Is there anybody going to your site direct, like through an email link? Referral traffic. That's like links from other websites. Type-in traffic are people literally typing your address into the URL bar. And then mentions are people mentioning your site and your brand out in social media. Now we move over to during and after the search, and next is bounce rate. So when they click through, Google's RankBrain is looking at the bounce rate of how many people hit the site and immediately just bounce back and look for something else. That's a bad signal if they do that. So if you have a high bounce rate, you could be shooting yourself in the foot as far as your SEO goes. Also looks, this is another big factor, how many pages visited. Did they just hit one page and leave, or did they go to multiple pages? What was the user experience? How much time did they spend on each page? And how many times did they return, like return visitors? Did anybody actually come back to the site after the first round? Other things is future search phrases, like what is looked at in the future? What's coming up? What are they searching for? Is there any trends? And brand search. And again, that's over on brand awareness prior to the visit. So that's the stuff that is being looked at with RankBrain. So I'll kind of hit these individually. If you look at your descriptions, like this is kind of more into the SEO realm, but this is really important that you guys understand whether you do anything, with my program or not. This is important stuff. Make sure your titles and your descriptions scream out to get clicked. If they're not getting clicked, you're gonna lose in the SEO game eventually, because you're not going to show up. Google's gonna not value your site if it's not getting clicked. This is some of the stuff that you can use to increase your click-through ratio. Good titles and descriptions, schema that shows like stars and ratings, anything that will give you an edge to stand out and actually get yourself clicked on. So compelling titles, truncated titles. There's a ton of stuff that I teach about on this that, it'll really move the needle as far as click-through ratio. Now, bounce rate. This comes down to relevance and the quality of your content. If you're doing just spun content and you just have, a bunch of outsourcers making garbage content for you, that stuff's not going to work anymore. I'm really sorry, but you got to get this right. You need a message to market that matches. You need conversion. You need calls to action. You need to get people into your site and engaging. You've got to give them what they want. That's going to reduce your bounce rate. Another thing is time on site. You've got to be able to engage them and keep them there. The best thing I've ever seen for this is video, putting video on your site. And user-generated content, letting other people post on there to engage people. Forums, galleries, even comment sections where people will read the comments down the line. All of that stuff is really good to keep people on the site. Number of pages visited. This is like truncating your content, getting them into a really good piece of an article, and then click here to read more, and then you take them to another site. You got to make those links compelling. Creative cropping on images. Like if you crop an image down and say click the image to see the full view, like let's say you've got a really cool graphic that's like a blueprint of something somebody wants to know how to do. It might be an infographic or something of that nature, and you crop it down where they can't see all the good nuggets. and then you say click here for the full image. That will get them to click to the next page. So all of that stuff and calls to action, tell them what to do. That's a great way to get people to click down deeper into your site. And then return visitors. You can do this through retargeting, through opt-ins, autoresponders, future offers. Get people coming back to your site. And here's another one. Traffic sources. The search engines, if all of your traffic comes from Google, that's a pure red flag. They want to see multiple search engines sending traffic to you. They want to see you getting paid traffic, social traffic, type-in traffic. No search engine is going to want to be the only source of your traffic. That's going to throw up a red flag if they're the only ones sending you traffic. And then I talked about this earlier, brand awareness. Promote your brand. Get people to link to your brand, link through your brand, brand mentions, and brand searches. If you can get people to search for your brand, that will be a huge signal to the search engine that your brand is important, especially if you can get brand in conjunction with a particular keyword you want to rank for. So these are the new things. These are the things that will get you over that missing link, and they'll appeal to RankBrain. This is the stuff that's going to make a difference. This is how you feed RankBrain. RankBrain is hungry, and it wants to be fed. When you feed it and you appease it, your rank will come back. So what could be better than selling food for RankBrain? If you offer this to business owners and you fix this problem for them, now obviously they want to fix the real underlying problems. If they've got issues with their content, if they've got issues with their titles, you want to help them fix that, or at least point that out. Their SEO companies should be doing that for them. But if they're not, they've still got issues, because they still have these issues of the users and the experience feeding the RankBrain. So it's all about site interaction. This is like undeniable proof. That's the answer to fallen rank. What you need to do is you need to lower your bounce rates, you need to increase number of pages visited, and you need to keep them on your site longer. And also bring them back. You've got to figure out, how do you bring them back? And that's why we created a software called Rainmaker. It basically creates the ultimate user experience. What Rainmaker is, it's a network of real computer users. And it's real computers and real users, and we have access to control all of these computers through our central database called Rainmaker. So in essence, what happens is the user, when you join our network and you become a Rainmaker user, you install a desktop application on your computer. Now your computer is now one of the computers in the Rainmaker network. It's all private, protected. Nobody can see this. It runs through a headless browser, so there's no security issues, there's no privacy issues. No one will ever be able to see what it's doing except for the search engines. But the fact that it's on a real computer, on a real IP, in a real home or a real office makes it real. Now what happens is that little desktop application that runs in the background, it gets information from our central server, and it tells it what search to run and what user activity behaviors to perform. So what you do is you put your keywords in and your domains, and then your keywords and your domains now are being searched by these remote computers all over the place, doing all of that for you, providing that user experience. It basically does everything that we just talked about. It will run the search that you specify. It will search through the listings for your domain. It will click on it, so you get that high click-through ratio, and then it goes onto your page and it spends time on that page. It inventories all of your internal links, and then at random it will click one of those links and go to the next page. It spends several minutes on that second page, again a random amount of time, inventories the internal links on that page, and repeats the process 6 or 7 times, and then after that it closes the browser. So it basically sends the signal back to the search engine that the user got the information they wanted, they were satisfied, they've closed the browser, and they're moving forward. So it really provides the ultimate user experience, and it all flushes all that information right back to Google's RankBrain. So it really is the solution for this. If you don't want to go through all the pain of fixing all that stuff and you just want the rank to come back, Rainmaker actually does that for you. Now again, I'm not recommending that you use garbage content and you use, funky linking schemes and all this to do bait and switch. I would recommend that you work on your user experience for real, but use Rainmaker to solve the problem, especially in the beginning, to get you over the hump. And this is something that businesses will line up to pay for. So let me just show you an example here of a little study we did in-house. I had 10 commercial customers that we were doing SEO for, and we were stuck. Our rank we could not move it on these customers. And it was 10 different customers. I wish I had taken a snapshot of this when we started, because there was no #1 rankings. There was only a handful in the top 10 even. So after the first 30 days, we were tracking 1,356 terms. And this basically started on November 1st. The snapshot below is from December 6th, so it's a month and a few days. After running Rainmaker for a month and a few days on these 10 clients, we had 41 #1 listings that had popped up. We had 103 in the top 3, 236 in the top 10, and so on and so on. Those were all new, all moved up, all because of Rainmaker. And we went out another month and a few days, and it jumped from 41 #1 listings to 145 #1 listings. And it went from 103 in the top 3 to 129, and it went from 236 in the top 10 to 253. It just really blew the doors off of the rankings. It was really incredible what that did. So it truly is the answer. User experience truly is this answer to fall and rank. It's that follow through. Maybe your customers, they created a great site, they got a ton of links, they got ranked. What they forgot or they didn't know was that proof of value, that user experience. And that's why their ranks fell. So you got something here that can actually solve that huge problem and give you recurring revenue. So let's just look at who would benefit from this. What type of businesses? And businesses that don't have brand recognition, this is huge. If you've got some small business and nobody knows to search for your brand, now there's fancy ways to get this accomplished outside of SEO and outside of Rainmaker, but let's see what happened there. I think I hit the wrong button. Give me just a second here to get back. All right. Well, anyway, I'm not sure what happened here. All right, there we go. All right, so who will benefit? Businesses with no brand recognition. Like I was saying, if you've got a small business and they don't have brand recognition and no one's searching for your brand, that can be a huge problem. That's something that Rainmaker can solve immediately. Businesses that are new with low traffic. Low traffic is a bad sign for a search engine. Search engines see that as a site that is not valuable. You might have all these links, but you got no traffic to it. Or you're getting links that aren't getting you any traffic. Those are all bad signs. That's stuff that Rainmaker can fix. So businesses with high bounce rates. Now, think about a dentist. If you serve the dental industry, there's a bunch of dentists out there that have high bounce rate. And the reason for that is, if you think about it, nobody's going to a dental site to read about dentistry. They're going there because their tooth hurts and they need it fixed. So they're just there for the phone number and then they're bouncing. So dentists just by nature have a high bounce rate. Rainmaker fixes that. Sites with poor click-through ratio, like if you don't have something exciting, or maybe you're in a competitive industry and they're really good at doing their titles and you're not so good at it, and they're beating you because of that. Those are other sites that this can definitely help and benefit. Sites that are over-optimized, sites that I was talking about that have a lot of links but not any user experience. Those sites will benefit. And also sites that, just any site in general that's not ranking on page 1. Those are all sites that will benefit from the use of user experience. All right, so let's talk about the cherry on top. I haven't even mentioned this, and this is really cool. This is what we call SEO. And if you guys have heard of that, it's search box optimization. You guys have probably seen when you start typing a search, Google starts recommending things. So when you run searches, the reason that it's recommending these things is basically it's because it's a trend. Google sees other people searching, and it's basically just trying to help you figure out what you're looking for. And it's doing that based on past searches. So one of the things that Rainmaker can do is it can start running searches and manipulating this recommendation. Now that is very, very powerful. That's why I call it the cherry on top. If you think about this, I'll give you an example here. We started typing in Atlanta dentistry, and we just got to the DENTI, and notice that one that I've got in red there, Atlanta dentistry by design, is now being referred. It's being recommended. Now here's the cool thing. When somebody takes that recommendation and they click on that, what happens is you have a branded search that only your stuff comes up for. I mean, obviously ads, you can't control the ads, but you're going to show up with your map listing and none other. If you have a generic search, you might show up in the map, but you'll be mixed with a bunch of other people. When it's a brand search, you're the only one there. And down the page, this guy owned the whole page with all of his social media accounts. The whole page for Dentistry by Design was owned by all of his accounts, his Facebook, his Twitter, his LinkedIn. They were all there. So it literally removed the competition. When this site gets clicked on, or this search term gets clicked on, Atlanta Dentistry by Design, there is no competition. So that's a really cool thing when you can use that recommendation to eliminate your competitors. So here's mine. I put my own name in there trying to attach it to SEO, and after just 3 weeks, when you started to type my name in, it actually recommended my name attached to SEO. So that's pretty cool. That's how you can affect what the search box is actually recommending by running searches. This was purely done with Rainmaker. So here's how we were charging. We've been running Rainmaker now for well over a year, and this is what we charge to our customers. So it's $99 per month for 4 keywords to run on the Rainmaker network. It's $199 per month to have 10 keywords running on the network, and it's $299 per month to have 20 keywords running on the network. That's what we're charging. That's what people are paying us to have this service running for them. So what we've done now is we have come up with an agency version of this. And basically with the agency edition, you get unlimited installs with 10 keywords each. Now notice here, and the 10 keywords, we're charging $199 a month for the 10 keywords. So with the agency edition, every install you do gets 10 keywords, and it's unlimited. You get to have as many installs as you want. You can sell this to as many customers as you want with the agency edition. So here's what you get when you get the agency edition. You get one agency account. Basically, that gives you a control panel to manage all of your accounts. You can create unlimited sub-accounts in there, and you can sell the service through those sub-accounts to anyone you want. Or you can use them yourself. It doesn't matter to us. You can, if you've got 50 sites and you want to use, one of these installs for each one of your own sites, you can do that as well. We really don't care. It's up to you how you want to use this. Some people are actually using the agency version. We've offered this to a handful of people just to test it. And a couple of those people, they're using it to keep their SEO clients. They're actually they're SEO agencies. And they're actually giving this as a perk and a bonus along with their other service just so they can provide good SEO. So you get these 10 keyword combinations per install. The value of that is $199 each for each install. Like I said, you get a management control panel that allows you to manage all of your accounts from one control panel. And you get to launch, the launch price that we're going to give you, you can lock that in for life. So I haven't got to that yet, but here's the deal. You can charge your clients and keep all the profit. You just pay the one fee for the monthly fee for the agency version, and then you can go ahead and resell this thing as much and as wide as you want. So here's the deal. It's $9.97 to set up, and that gets you 1 month free, and then it's $197 a month locked in for life. So basically, for less than the price of one 10 keyword install that we're charging our customers, you get the entire agency version. Now, if you want to do a full year, if you're going to go good guns on this thing and you're going to sell this and make a ton of money on it, you can save a little bit of money by going for the full year of this. And basically, it's after the first year, you've got the setup fee up front, but after the first year, it goes to $19.97 per year. And again, that's locked in for life. That makes it like $167 a month. That is a total bargain for this thing. I mean, I can't even tell you how much money that you could literally make with this thing. So here's what we're doing for you guys on the webinar. We're basically on the 1 month, we're going to knock off $500 off of the setup. So it really becomes $497 and then $197 a month locked in for life. And on the other one, on the year, we're basically knocking the entire setup fee off of there. We're taking $1,000 right off the top. So you get it for $19.97 for the whole year. And again, you get to lock that in for life. Your price will never go up. The price on this, I guarantee you, on this agency version is going to go up radically. So, I mean, you can see the value here. You can see how much you can sell this thing for. It's amazing how much money that you'll be able to make off of this one tool. So, that brings the question. People have asked me, why are you literally giving it away? And the reason for this is the more installs that we get, the more powerful it becomes. And with SEO, the more variation that you have, the more natural it looks. When you go for real SEO, I've been doing SEO for years. I mean, I started doing SEO before Google and Yahoo were even around. It was back in the days of Alta Vista and Lycos and WebCrawler. And every step of the way, if you do real SEO and it looks real and it looks natural, it lasts. It holds up. It stands the test of time. So we want our network as big as possible. So that's the whole reason why we're putting the agency version out and allowing you to do unlimited installs. We want you to do a lot. We want you to sell a lot. We want you to make a lot because it makes our network very powerful. And that's going to make it sell for way, way more. So if you look at it that way, you're helping us build value in our network and you're getting a deal in the process. Because once we get this thing up, we've got several thousand installs right now, and the majority of those are in the U.S. We've only really sold this in the U.S. for the most part. A few people out of the country, but the majority of the installs are still in the US, so it's incredibly powerful. It is like the best user experiences possible. Some people are going out and they're doing this through micro workers, and they're spending an absolute fortune to get this done, but it's not natural. It's coming from the Philippines or it's coming from India. That is going to show up on the radar. RankBrain is extremely smart. If RankBrain sees a bunch of user experience coming to your site from India, guess what? You're not going to be natural, and you're not going to stand the test of time. So that's the reason that we're doing this so inexpensively for you guys. We really want to build the network, and it's not going to take long. I mean, we get probably 20 or 30 of you guys in here with the agency version, and you put 100, 200 customers in here, it's going to grow really quick. And at that point, we're going to put a reasonable price on the agency version for anybody that wants it in the future. So that's basically, the reason behind it, why the price is so low. And here it is, man. This is the next big wave. This is where it's going. If you guys haven't heard about this yet, this really is it. If you do your research, you're going to find out that RankBrain's real and user experience is here to stay. It's literally killing or killed off most of the old SEO world. So basically, you got two choices. You can either catch this wave and ride it, or you can watch it pass you by. So again, here's the specials. It's $500 off of the monthly for the setup, and basically that's $497 to get you started. That covers you for your first month, and then it goes to $197 a month, locked in for life. If you want to do the annual, we'll completely knock the setup fee off, take $1,000 right off the top, which puts it at $1997, and again, that's locked in for life, and I think that's like $167 a month. So it's like a $30 a month discount on the annual. So you're probably wondering how to get this, how to get a hold of this thing. And here it is, internetdominators.com/Jeff. And that's going to take you to the order page, and you'll basically be able to get on there and decide if you want to do the monthly or the annual. And that's basically what you can do. If you're ready to order now, you can go ahead and do that. Let me tell you about what, also we've got a bonus with this too. This is going to be really good for anybody that jumps onto this. And the bonus is training. I'm going to do 2 training webinars with you guys. One of them for best practices. This is going to be a best practices training, how to get the most out of it. There's a lot of little nuances to this, and what type of searches to put in there, and I'm going to walk you guys through exactly how to do that. We've been using this tool, and we've got a lot of advanced data from the usage of the tool, and we know exactly how to use it to get the best results, and I'll share that stuff with you. That alone is priceless. Most people in the industry, they know kind of a little bit about this stuff, but they don't really know the nuances of how to get it to work, and we've figured that out through the actual use and leverage of the data out of Rainmaker. So we're going to show you which phrases work and which ones work best. So that's going to be covered in the best practices training, and then I'll do another one on how to sell it. This is going to be a training on how to actually present this to clients, how to price it, and how to sell it and get them onto a recurring mode where they're paying you every month to supply the service for them. So that's going to be pretty cool. Another thing too, on the training, when I go through the best practices, that'll be the first training that we do. I'm going to actually walk you through how to activate your agency activation, how to get your control panel set up, and it's really easy stuff, but a lot of people just need that walkthrough. So I'm going to walk you through that, show you exactly how to get it activated and set up, and how to add as many different installs as you want. And there's also a download tab there. That's where you download the piece of software, and you can give that software out to any of your clients, any of your customers and allow them to install it, they cannot manipulate it. They can't use it. All they can do is install it on their computer. You control it from your control panel. So if they stop paying you, let's say they decide to stop paying you, you literally have the utility company. You can turn them off through your control panel. So how would that be? If they stop paying you, you can just pull the rug right out from under them. And then if they want to come back and reactivate it, you can charge them a reactivation fee, just like the utility companies. So it's pretty cool to be in that position. So what you're going to get, out of the training, you're basically going to get confidence. You're going to get knowledge and confidence that's going to lead to cash. That's really what it's all about. That is your outcome for this particular tool. It's phenomenal. We've been using it. It's, I started developing this in 2011. I could see this coming. I've predicted almost every major algorithm shift that Google's made, and this one I called out in like 2011. So we've been working and playing with this thing and testing it for a long time, and it is absolutely rock solid. So again, there's your choice, your prices. You can either go with monthly or annual. And the order link is internetdominators.com/Jeff. So if you guys have questions, you can go ahead and fire them into the question box there, or the chat box. Let's see, it looks like we got a few questions here, so let me take a look at this. Okay, a recap of what it does. So what the Rainmaker software does is it will run a search phrase. It looks for your domain inside there, and what it does, it scrolls down the list, finds your domain, and clicks on it. Once it clicks on it, it spends time on that page, and it basically goes back around, looks at all of your internal links, inventories those, and it randomly selects one. Now the cool thing about this is everything about what Rainmaker does is completely randomized. Even the keystrokes. When Rainmaker does the search and it's typing the search into the search box, it's randomizing the time between the keystrokes just like a real human. So there's absolutely nothing about this that could ever be tracked, traced, or hunted. This thing looks absolutely natural the way it works. After it visits a few pages, it goes ahead and it just closes the browser out. And that's the end of that. And then it basically sits in waiting till it gets its next direction from the server, and then it'll start up a new headless browser that you don't see as a user. Your users won't see what's happening. It just runs behind the scenes. But it'll basically open up, go to Google, run the next search. So it's pretty cool. It's completely automated. Once you get it set up, you take it from there and it just does everything. Okay, how do you sell this? Selling it is really easy. I mean, it's just a matter of connecting with business owners that have not gotten rank or have had rank and have fallen rank. And basically, you can show them the way. And I'm going to show you that in the training. I'm going to show you how to use a couple of online tools to pull up and show anybody that has a website. I can show them what their bounce rate is. If they have a high bounce rate, that's probably the reason. So this is going to fix that. And like I mentioned earlier, people will pay anything to get their SEO back, or to get their rankings back. Okay, how long does it take for this to work? It's like with SEO, that's kind of a loaded question. It depends on a lot of different variables. Depends on how much competition there is, what your keywords you're trying to go for. One cool thing about this, and I didn't mention this before, you don't have to use an exact match keyword for this. What you want to do is you want to build authority. If you build brand recognition, if you just use Rainmaker to build brand recognition, what it's going to do, it's going to raise the rank of all of your keywords because of that. because you're going to get that that authority on the domain, and it's going to help all of your keywords. So this isn't a tool where you're just using this one tool to try and rank a particular keyword. What this is this is a value builder for your domain, so the search engine values it and trusts it, and it will rank your pages better for it. So it's really cool. Yes, this is being recorded. There will be a replay sent out. So that's an easy one. Can I do this with the Spanish market? Yes, absolutely. This says that you can put Spanish keywords in there. You can put any domains. So yes, it will work with the Spanish market. It will simply type out whatever words you put in. So whatever phrases, if you want to put Spanish phrases in there, not a problem. Okay, do the computers need to be online 24/7? They do not have to be online 24/7. The thing is, the more you run the computer with Rainmaker on it, the more time you have access to the network. So when your computer is on and it's running the Rainmaker application, your computer is active in the network, so your keywords are active on the network. So like, let's say you run your computer for 8 hours a day. That would mean that your keywords were out active on the network for 8 hours of that day. If you run your computer for 24 hours a day, then you get more activity on the network. So it's like whenever your computer is running, your account's live on the network. When you're not running Rainmaker, you're not getting the benefit on the network. And we have to do that in fairness to the other users on the network. It wouldn't be fair if keywords were just running whether you were running your computer or not, running your Rainmaker application. Okay, let's see. Does it work only in English-speaking areas? No, actually, this would work anywhere. Now, I will tell you the majority of our network is US-based. So let's say you were in Germany. There's not a lot of users in Germany. So a lot of the user experience signals you would get would be coming from the US. So that may or may not be a good for you. Now, if you have a lot of customer base in the US, then it might look natural. If you don't, if all of your customer base is in Germany, then it may not be the right thing for you. You might want to do, you might want to go the long route and hire micro workers. It's a lot more expensive and it's a much bigger pain. We did this before we had the Rainmaker software just to test it, test the scenarios and all that, and it was an absolute nightmare to manage all those outsourcers and try and get them to, to do what you actually wanted them to do. So may not be the right thing. All right, let's see here. Other question. Oh, we got a sneaky. Yeah, I guess you could call it sneaky. Sneaky is good. All right, here's a great question. How does Google track some of these after factors like time spent on the site? That is a great question, and I actually have the answer for you. It is through browser security. There is a secure, safe web browsing is actually what it's called, and it's installed in every browser by default. Now, you can go in and you can turn it off, but most people don't even know that is available. So safe web browsing, what that does is that allows Google to know everything about everything that you do through a web browser, because Google is behind safe web browsing. The premise to it is to keep your computer safe. It's like an antivirus, but it really gives Google access to everything that you're doing through a web browser. I mean, I can guarantee you they literally are on a page before you are when you call the page up. We've tested this and we proved it. It was pretty shocking to me to find that information out. I had a really high-end security guy that actually showed me that was true, and it really kind of blew my mind when I saw it. But they really do. They know exactly what's going on. They can see every move that you make. Like I said, unless you turn that off, if you're concerned with privacy, you might want to go and turn safe web browsing off, and then they wouldn't be allowed to see that. But by nature, most of the internet is running on browsers that are running safe web browser. So Google has a tremendous amount of data. So. Okay, next question. Does this run all the nodes in the net or just the ones we handed out? No, your phrases actually run across the entire network. So every one that you install, it just becomes another computer in the network. Everything is completely randomized. So your phrases would be running across the entire network, not just the installs that you installed. If that were the case, it would not be effective. You've got to have you have to have a big network to make this actually work and look natural. So you get access to the entire network. As long as your application is running, you have access to the whole network. Okay, if I do this for my own websites, do I have to create content every day and 100% unique? No, 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 absolutely not. That is the beauty of Rainmaker. Once you use Rainmaker, I mean, you have to have good content on your site, but you don't have to create content every day. You need to figure out what your users want, create it for them, and create a good user experience, and then that should be able to ride for a long time. You can't just create junk, but put good stuff on your website and then let Rainmaker do the rest. Let it, provide the good user experience for you and get you ranked. Okay, how does this work for local business? This has worked wonderfully for local businesses. And, like I said, most of our network is in the U.S., so it does not look odd or out of the norm for this to be, from the U.S. based. Like, let's say you've got a pizza parlor in San Francisco. And you might think, well, it might be odd for somebody in New York to be searching for my pizza, in San Francisco. That's really not odd. All that says is somebody is going to travel to your neighborhood and they want to know where the best pizza is. So it definitely does work for local business for sure. Local businesses, there's no difference really from Google's perspective. When you're talking about search results, Google doesn't care if you're a local business or not. They look at SEO factors and they look at what's going on with the user experience. If people are searching for you and you're getting a good user experience, you're going to get the value of that. You're going to get, you're going to get ranked. So the only place where that might make a difference is, and this doesn't really even apply with Rainmaker, is in there's local search work that you can do to rank in the local pages, like the pages over on the side where it shows your business location and all that. This really is a little bit different than that. But for SEO itself, for the general organic search, that's really what Rainmaker is all about. Now, like I said before, when Rainmaker is at work and Rainmaker is showing a positive user experience to the search engines, that is going to percolate across to all of your keywords. It's also going to percolate across to your local listings, your local rankings. So that's all going to help. So that's it. Okay, here's a question. Does it work on Macs too? The Rainmaker application software is made for PCs only. Now you could run the agency version from a Mac because it's basically run through a browser, but the software itself has to go onto a PC. Now if you've only got Mac users, or all of your business owners are Mac users, you can actually buy for, like, I think it's about $100. You can buy a little IBM, I think, what are they called? A Raspberry Pi, and I'll actually show that in the training. And it's a little mini microcomputer that you can just plug into your network, and it will actually run the Rainmaker on there perfectly. So you don't have to have a full-blown computer. This thing, you could run it on on any network for, I think it's about $100. I'll check the price and all that. Okay, the site is charging $9.97, not $4.97. Okay, there right next to it, there's a coupon code, and I may not have mentioned that before, but the coupon code to remove the 500 setup fee is Jeff 500, and then there's a Jeff 1000 to remove the $1,000 off of the annual. So it does say that on the order form right next to the coupon code. So sorry about that, I forgot to mention that. But Jeff 500 will remove $500 off of the monthly price for the setup fee and take it down to $4.97. And then it's basically $197 a month after that. You use the coupon code Jeff1000 to take $1,000 off of the annual price. If any of you guys missed that and you went ahead and it charged you the full amount, I will go ahead and happily refund that difference for you. So not a problem there. We'll absolutely honor the special one way or another. So I'll go through the orders. I see a bunch of orders, coming through now, so that's cool. I will look through. If anybody didn't get the special price, I will make sure that gets addressed and refunded to you, so not a problem. Okay, so Jeff 500 and Jeff 1000 are the coupon codes. Okay, can I use various installs on the same customer? Yes, absolutely, you can. So let's say you've got 2 computers and or your customer has 2 computers and they want to run 2 installs. You can absolutely do that. The more keyword variation that you use, the better off you'll be. So there's absolutely no problem with that. All right, it looks like that's about it. Let's see, it says coupon code not working. It should work. I tested it before the event. So anyway, try Jeff 100. If you guys have an issue with that, and you have any trouble ordering or what have you, go ahead and send me an email at John, John, at internetdominators.com, and I'll make sure that I get that handled for you. So let's see. Let me just get over to the order page here. Let me just get this. Okay, so here on the order page, like this is the $9.97. So right in here it says Jeff 500. It says enter promo code Jeff 500, and that reduces your entry cost to $4.97. And then same thing here on the annual, it is Jeff 1000. And you can use either credit card or PayPal. Let's see. Okay, here's one that says I am lost. I do not see how this will help business with leads or calls. All right, so the way that helps with leads and calls is by increasing the rank of your search traffic. When you get your keywords ranked higher, you'll get more search traffic. When you get more search traffic, then you're going to get more traffic to your site. You should, if your site doesn't convert, then it's not going to help that, obviously. But if your site generates leads and it generates calls, then this will absolutely increase your leads and calls by the traffic. Okay, repeat the email address. It's John, John, at internetdominators.com. That's my email. Let's see, let me just check something here. All right. Okay, couple more questions. Got it. How do we show the business that this works? You can actually do, I can give you guys a PowerPoint presentation very similar to the one that I just gave you here, and you'll be able to actually just kind of walk them through the process of why they're not ranking. You know, it's really easy to find sites that are not ranking, or sites that are ranking like on second page, because that's a real pain point. You know, when you go into a business and you know, you show them that they're not on the first page and that's costing them money, and for a, you know, a $99 or $199 service a month, they could potentially fix that. They'll be all over that. Okay, let's see. So here's a question. Are you saying that the software will simulate as if your website is getting a lot of traffic to Google, which in result will rank higher? It's actually getting searches. So Google is the one that sends the traffic to your site. But yes, it's not simulating that. It's actually doing that. It's actually using real users' computers to run searches and then click through to your website. What that does is that shows a positive user experience to the search engine, which in turn will allow them to put more value and credibility to your site and raise your rank across the board for all of your keywords. So, all right, guys, it looks like that's about it. We've gone a little bit over an hour. I wanted to kind of respect your time on a Sunday here and make sure that we got you taken care of and back to your weekend before it's over. So thank you again for coming and spending the time with me, and I thank you. Jeff thanks you, and hopefully you guys will take advantage of this offer. We did record it, so we'll send a replay out if any of you jumped in the middle of it and missed a piece or whatever. And anyway, great. Thanks for showing up, and have fun with Rainmaker. I hope you guys make a ton of money using the Rainmaker software.